and you as partners in their learning when we come together as a community. And we're also going to talk, obviously, about the transition programme. We've got some invited guests there. There's myself, the head teacher. We've got Miss Quinn, Mrs. Shandley, who are the deputies in charge of first year and transition. And we've got Mrs. Hagan, Mr. Powley, her Psd teachers for primary 6 and 7. We've got Mia and Scott, the real leaders of the school, who are there. I'm glad to see Mia's got her camp. I can see you now, Mia, again. That's good. It's good to know you're there. And we've got Gwen and Eve, who are our 5th year anti-bullying ambassadors, who are going to give you a sense of who we are as a school as well. So very welcome. Picture of our beautiful school. This will become a second home, hopefully, for your children in the future. That's what we want it to be. So we always start, we are a Catholic school, we always start every single meeting with a prayer. So I'm going to do the school prayer. This is our meeting prayer I'm going to say just now. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Be near us, Father, as we meet today. Inspire our thoughts and light our understanding. Guide us toward your vision for our school, and grant that we be wisely lead and ever humbly serve this community of St. Modan entrusted to our care. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. So, as I said at the beginning, we're really proud of who we are as a school community. We're very unique, and I've taught in lots of different schools in my career, and I always say to the pupils, St. Modan's is by a mile my favourite, and it's something very special about St. Modan's. You know that. You're probably, some of you, ex-St. Modan's people yourself. The roots go deep in St. Modan's. I find that out every day. People know each other, there's a real community, and that's quite amazing considering the fact that we take in from a massive geographical area. We take in from 3 different local authorities, and that's what makes us special, because as soon as the pupils come into our school and put on these beautiful uniforms that you're seeing tonight, then they become part of our community, and they're proud to be part of our community. And we're very inclusive. Because we take in from loads of different areas, everybody just gets together, they mix well, and there's not really many cliques, and everybody just becomes part of the wonderful St. Modan's community. So as you can see, we have got 6 learning community schools, but we take in from an awful lot more than that. We take in actually from 23 primary schools in total. So you can imagine the job that gives us in gathering all that information, but it's just, we're used to it. Our staff work incredibly hard in order to get that transition information, because we want to make sure that the transition is as smooth as possible and that we're getting it right for your child. We are growing as a school. When I joined the school about 7-8 years ago, it was 850 the role. Now we're over 1,000. We're actually this year at about 1,020. And our maximum capacity is 1,050. So that's just a sense of the fact that we're growing. We're working incredibly hard, which I hope you get a sense of tonight, because we're already a great school, but we're working really hard to just make it the best school in Scotland. I'm just going to put it out there and say that. That's what I feel about it. And I know that a lot of people feel that way, but we've got a way to go, and we're working really hard. And we work hard with our pupils and our families in order to get it right for the pupils. So we are all about our values. We're a Catholic school. We believe in everybody working really, every child fulfilling their potential, and every child attaining and achieving what they should be. And everything that we do in a school is underpinned by these values. So most of this evening you will hear about the values. Our evening is based around our school values, so that you know what to expect from us and you know what we are offering your child. And that's going to be the main part of our discussion tonight, our meeting tonight. So I'm going to pass you on to Mrs. Shandley, who's going to take you through our values, and then we'll pass you on to a number of people who'll talk through each and every value with you.
Thank you, Mrs. Friel. as Mrs. Friel said, usually when I plan this night, I've been planning this night probably for about 7 years now, and I'm normally planning a huge big event in the school, and we're having probably up to about 300 people in the school on any given time on an evening like this. So this year it's been hard to kind of plan it virtually, so we wanted to think what was the best way to give you a sense of who we are. We want you to see us as a community, we want you to know who we are, and we want you to know how much your young people will become part of our community and how valued they will be within it. This postcard that you see in front of you, these, as Mrs. Friel said, are our values, and we thought the best thing to do tonight was to take you through the values. Ms. Quinn, just one slide for me. Thank you. And a few years ago, these values were revisited, and we wrote them again with our young people to basically say that these are the things that our school community believes are important in the way that we live and we work. And underpinning all of the values, and you'll hear this word a few times tonight, is that value of respect, that we treat everyone with dignity and we are polite and we listen to others. Now, if you were very observant at the beginning, you'll notice that when we put our values together, as they go around, you can see them in the top, in the logo in the top corner. As they go around, they spell out the word Christ, because as we say, we're a Catholic school. But our first value is compassion, and I'm going to, different people are going to take you through each of the values tonight and try to exemplify for you what this means in our school. We've got lots and lots of photos, so hopefully you've got a screen where you can see some of these photos and you can see lots of the things that are going on. And as Mrs. Friel said, you will hear from our young people talking about some of these values as well. So I'm going to hand over first of all to Miss Quinn to talk about compassion.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm going to tell you about compassion, which is one of the first of our values. So we're a school where we show love, kindness and understanding, and that's really important for us as a school. As you're aware, we're a Catholic school, and we're very proud to be a Catholic school. So the Catholic values underpin everything that we do in the school. But we're also a very inclusive school. So our school is open to anyone of all faiths to come to our school. So we're a very inclusive school there. And you can see on the screen, there's a wee bit just about the Catholic ethos of the school and the Catholic values that are taken from the Catholic Charter. So through compassion, we have chaplaincy teams within the school, and these are young people, our young students, that work to help us when we have any events within the school. So you can see pictures here of our junior chaplaincy team. So we have a junior chaplaincy team and we have a senior chaplaincy team. So these are our junior chaplaincy team, and you can see that at the cathedral there, celebrating Mass, but they help to organise lots and lots of different events that take place within the school. So you can see we have a St Modan's chaplaincy Twitter, so a special Twitter for our chaplaincy team, and they do incredible activities. So you can see the generosity of them. This is Advent, when we collect food and give out food parcels to people who need those. We have lots of charity events at the school. You can see Mr. Powley at the bottom there getting a custard pie in his face, or a cream pie in his face. And he'll speak to you later on. So we've got lots and lots of different events that take place in the school, and the young people are always really, really keen to help out and to raise money for lots of different charities. This is a special one that we do in first year, and it's the coin challenge, and the money goes to Let the Children Live. So throughout all of this, we're teaching the values to our young people. Just last week, the 6 years organised a charity football event against the teachers, and because it was near Halloween, they got to dress up. So it was a really, really good day, and everyone enjoyed it, and they also raised lots and lots of money for the breast cancer charity. Okay, so I'm going to pass you on now to Gwen and Eve, who are two of our lovely senior pupils in the school, and they're going to talk to you about honesty, the second of the values.
Hi guys, I'm Eve, and I'm here with Gwen as representatives of the anti-bullying ambassadors, as Miss Quinn just said. So, Gwen, are you here? Sorry, I'm not sure if Gwen's here. Can you say hi? Okay. Gwen is here, lovely. So as Miss Quinn said, we're both S5 pupils, We do a lot of work around the school with the junior years, talking about bullying and other problems that young people might face.
This week is anti-bullying week, so we've been doing daily quotes over the tannoy, me and Eve, as well as presentations in classes. We actually had a couple today and they went very well. And we've done several activities such as a poster competition and a display made out of ribbons with kind words written on them by all the pupils in their PSD classes. Anti-bullying is a big topic within our school, and we like to make sure St. Modan's is a really safe environment for people to come into.
So myself and Gwen are also MVP mentors, which stands for Mentors in Violence and Violence Prevention. Sorry, that's a bit of a mouthful. What this means is that as younger pupils, they'll be taught lessons by the S5s and S6s about how to speak out against anything that you might feel unprepared for dealing with. Some quite serious topics such as abuse within relationships and also bullying and stuff within the schools. So it's a really good course for trying to get some of the younger people to think about and understand some more difficult topics.
And as well as having the lessons delivered to you, once you reach senior years, you're given the opportunity to become an MVP mentor yourself. So it's a really good way to gain confidence, and it helps a lot with public speaking skills. I, for one, used to be very anxious and quiet, but a combination of this and Eve has brought out some public speaking skills within myself. And it also gives you the chance to volunteer and do something good for the St. Modan's community.
So honesty is a really strong idea that runs in St. Modan's, and we think that you should always stand up for what you believe in and the way that you think other people should be treated. So anti-bullying falls right into this category, as I'm sure you guys all know, and we do take it pretty seriously within the school. It's really important to us that everybody feels safe and happy in our school, and we also have an equalities club that deals with lots of different minorities and problems that they may face to make everybody feel safe and comfortable.
So that is us done, and I thank you very much for listening, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much to Gwen and Eve for that, and for your input this whole week over anti-bullying. We really appreciate all the work you've been putting in throughout the week, so thank you. I'm Mr. Powley, Mark Powley, Principal Teacher at the moment for S5, but will be for the new S1 for pupil support as well. And I'm just going to talk briefly about the health and wellbeing programme that pupils will go into in S1 and what it kind of what it entails, I suppose. So as you can see from the slides there, they'll have a period a week of health and wellbeing as a PSD class. That will go right the way through from S1, 2 and 3. We'll cover a range of different topics throughout the year as the health and wellbeing curriculum is kind of put together, whether it's mental, physical health, etc., building resilience, the kind of ones you see there on the slide, but also maybe kind of it's quite flexible in terms of if there are any kind of issues cropping up within a year group or whatever, it's something we can address kind of directly as well through health and wellbeing. They'll attend that, as I said, with their PSD class together as a class and where the timetable permits, with their PSD teacher who they see every morning to be registered, etc. The plan is as well throughout the year we engage in activities during important weeks such as Anti-Bullying Week, which is this week, Road Safety Week and so on are all things that are kind of worked on throughout the year during those kind of times when those weeks are on the calendar. And it's also an opportunity for the class themselves to kind of get to know each other in a slightly different kind of classroom setting to your kind of maths, English, etc. It's kind of a more discussion based a lot of the time, and there's more different kind of tasks to take part in health and wellbeing. So that's kind of setting out a little bit the health and wellbeing programme and how it runs throughout the year. And I'm going to hand on now to Ms. Quinn to discuss the next value, which is responsibility.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Powley. So responsibility is our next value, and responsibility is that we're accountable for all our own actions, and we try and make sure that all the young people in the school know that they are responsible for what they actually do. So in our school, we have 3 rules or 3 expectations, and they're called our 3 R's, and you'll probably be aware of these if you've got any young people already in the school. And these are to be ready, to be respectful, and to be responsible. So responsible is really at the heart of everything that we do in the school. We want young people to take responsibility for everything that they do, for their own actions, for their safety, for their environment and for their learning. So with learning, the first year curriculum, we follow Curriculum for Excellence within the school. So it builds on what the young people already do in primary. We have a broad general education from 1st to 3rd year, and then the senior phase from 4th to 6th year. So within 1st to 3rd year, the young people study a wide range, a variety of different topics. And you can see some of these, the headings that these topics are under at the bottom of the page there. So we do language and literacy, maths and numeracy, health and wellbeing, religious and moral education, technologies, expressive arts, social studies and science. So lots of a really wide variety of subjects that we study in the school. So you can see here some pictures of our lovely first year this year in their classes. So we've got Mr. Barnett there with his class in PSD, those 10 minutes at the beginning of the day that's vital for those young people. Underneath that, you can see some of our first year studying Hamlet. So in English, they study Hamlet. We've got some first years in PE, doing basketball, and then some in tech, in woodwork, in the woodwork classroom, making things in woodwork. We've got some people washing up in home economics after they've made something delicious, and we've got some young people in the music classrooms there, and you can see that they're learning to play the ukulele. So they get a wide variety of lots of different types of experiences when they come to the school. We've got someone in science there, so one of our 6th year ambassadors, which you'll hear about later in science, helping some of our first years, and modern languages there. I think the flag at the back gives it away. That's one of our modern languages classes. We've got maths, one of our young people showing off his skills at the board there, and some of our outdoor maths as well, learning through outdoor learning. So there's lots and lots of really, really terrific opportunities within the school. And we're very proud of our curriculum within the school. As well as making sure that they're learning, we want to make sure that we know how well they're learning. So we track and monitor, and we have 3 tracking periods throughout the school. So you will get 3 tracking reports, which is just a very brief report of how your young person is getting on within the school. And you get that throughout the year. So there's 3 times where you'll get a tracking report, and our parents' evenings are virtual. This is the first year we've gone virtual with our parents' evenings, and we just had a 5th and 6th year one last week, and it was really, really successful. So at present we're doing them virtually, and we will think about what's going to happen hopefully after COVID, but the virtual parents' evenings have worked really, really well. So with the tracking and monitoring, the picture you can see here is one of the other things we do is that the PSD teacher has time to meet with the young people after the very first tracking. The PSD teacher will meet with all the students individually and discuss their tracking with them to find out how they're making progress, and they set targets and goals as to what they can do to improve the next time. So these are really, really important meetings. It's great for the PSD staff to get to talk to the young people one-to-one, and the students really enjoy these meetings because they get a chance to speak to their PSD teacher on their own and to discuss what's going well and how they can actually improve. The staff in the school also get information back from the tracking reports, and on the back of that we look at see who's doing really well, and they get praise cards, and we also look at who maybe hasn't settled in as well to school, and we look to see what we can do to make sure that we help them to settle into the school. So there's lots and lots goes on in first year. So I'll pass you over now to Mrs. Friel, who's going to talk about responsibility for the staff in the school.
Hello everyone again. As I said at the start, we, the teaching staff and non-teaching staff of St Modan's High School, take our responsibility very seriously. We love our school. We want to give your children the best experience possible. a safe environment, but we are also about improving the school year upon year, and we rely on parents and pupils to help us with that journey. Now, I don't know if you know any teachers, I don't know any member of staff who leaves their job at the door. Our teaching staff take their jobs home with them, tonight quite literally, and during lockdown quite literally. Mr. Powley, I see, is still in school just now, and we are a very, very committed staff, and we're committed to our jobs. We love our jobs, and we are about improving our school and making it the best school possible. We've got high expectations, not just of our pupils, and I hope you would appreciate that, and that's what I'm sure you would want from us, to have high expectations of our pupils. We expect the best from them, but we've also got high expectations of our staff as well. And we're not only about the values, which you hear very much about tonight, that underpins everything we do. We celebrate achievement all the time, but we're aware of our responsibility about attainment and making sure pupils are achieving the best results at the end of their school careers as possible. And our attainment has been on the rise for the last few years. Mrs. Shanley and myself were toying with the idea of putting some attainment slides in here, because we're very proud of our journey, but Mrs. Shanley realised that if she said to me that I could talk about attainment, we would be here until past the bake-off. So, and the Welsh, whatever you prefer, the Wales game or the bake-off. So I decided against putting the slides up, putting my graphs and my statistics up on the screen, but our attainment has been on the rise for the last few years. We are always reviewing what we do, and this slide here is just to demonstrate that. Learning and teaching is our bread and butter. It's what we do. It's central to everything we do in the school. We have to make sure that the senior management team, obviously, of the school review learning and teaching, the senior leaders of the school leaders, but also teaching staff constantly review what they do. We share good practice regularly, particularly since we've had to go digital, we've had to go into the online world in the last wee while, unfortunately. Fingers crossed we don't need to do that again. We have had various different things. Magpie Week, when we steal ideas from each other, so we have open doors, and you can pop in and out of each other's classes. For the pupils in the meeting tonight, that's what the magpies on the doors have been about. Okay, so if there's a magpie on the door, it means that other teaching staff are welcome to jump in and just to watch a teacher doing in action in the classroom. Osiris programme is about Outstanding Teacher Initiative. We have got 20 staff going through training just now, and we've already had a cohort gone through training with Outstanding Teacher Initiative, where teachers, somebody comes in, a trained person comes in to review the teaching of colleagues in our school. They get their lessons videoed, and they're coached through their teaching. So that's happening just now, and it's made a massive difference to the way that we are teaching, just reviewing our pedagogy and just keeping things really fresh in the classroom. But we're also about just checking with everybody that we're getting this right for people. So reviewing our school priorities. As you can imagine, they've changed quite a bit since COVID. We've noticed that the mental health has been an area where we've had to have a look at it with the pupils and the parents, and just make sure that we're supporting pupils' mental well-being as best we can. That's a massive priority at the moment. We also, obviously, learning. There's lots of gaps in learning because of COVID, and it's our responsibility to make sure, working with parents, that those gaps are filled and that we can help pupils get back on track again. But rebuilding our community after lockdown has been, well, it's been joyful, because we're all just so happy to see each other again. The kids have really embraced all the opportunities that have come their way in terms of like extracurricular activities, etc. But rebuilding our community is really important to us. We're desperate for the time when we can get you back in the school in order to be part of our school community. But these are our priorities at the moment. And the next slide just shows you where we are, what our priorities, our current priorities are. So community, rebuilding our school community. Wellbeing, so that's to do with the physical and mental well-being of the pupils. And achievement, so celebrating achievement and raising attainment, and looking at learning and teaching and making sure that we're getting it right for the pupils. So we are we're a great school, but we continue to improve, and we take that responsibility incredibly seriously. We always look towards the job market, we always review our curriculum, and we try to get it right for pupils, but we have to work in partnership with our parents for that. So I'm going to pass it on to Mrs. Hagan, who's going to talk you through the next value.
I think obviously that what Mrs. Friel's just said, thank you very much. It's about getting it right for our young people. It's about getting it right for our pupils. And certainly for us, this is one of our most important values in our school. We treat people equally and include everyone in what we do. And what that means for us is that we're able to support all members of our school community to really reach their potential. You know, we get to know our young people very, very well. We find out as much about them as we can and then try to support them on to the next step. And how we do that is very much by putting the pupil at the centre of everything we do. I'm hoping that from this evening you've got a sense that we are very much a strong community and that we value all of our young people as individuals. You know, we've got a wide range of learners at St Modan's High School, and as I've said already, we really do get to know our young people really well. We thrive on our positive relationships with our young people, and that's at the centre of absolutely everything that we do. Now, what we're also aware of is that lots of our young people will require different types of support throughout their school career, whether it's from S1 all the way up to S6. And that, what you see on the screen just now, is everyone who's going to be around your child or young person, helping them to get to the stage that we want for them to be at. Now, the first point that you see there, so pupil support and development, we follow a PSD structure at St Modan's High School, and I'll talk to you a wee bit more about that in just a second. So pupil support is very much the sort of centre of the support for our young people. It's the everyday, making sure we're aware of everything that's going on for a young person so that we're putting the correct structures and supports in place. In addition, we have got our additional support needs, our ASN department, where we've also got a principal teacher for ASN and a really strong team with very experienced teachers who are able to support those young people who are needing to access our ASN department. The same goes for our autism provision. And we, in St Modan's, we also follow a staged intervention process. Now that's part of working within Clackmannanshire Council, Stirling Council and Falkirk Council. So if a young person is for any reason on staged intervention, either through perhaps ASN needs or if there's something else that's causing them to be on staged intervention, which really just means we're monitoring the support that's going to be in place for them, and it's monitoring the support that's going to be in place for them, and we would have meetings throughout the year to make sure that we're doing everything we can. Now, in terms of our faculty structure, you can see on the board just there that there's lots of different teachers across the school who would be involved in supporting our learners. So from S1 all the way up to S6, we have got a principal teacher of PSD, and their role would be very much to stay with a year group as they move through each stage of the school, okay? And as I've said, that helps us really get to know our young people as much as we possibly can. So for ASN and inclusion, we've got Miss Workington, who's, I don't think she's here with us this evening, but I'll speak to you a wee bit more about Miss Workington and what her role would be. Oh, she is there. Hi, Miss Workington.
If you want me to put my face on the screen for a minute, but I don't know how that might be possible if you're screen sharing. But good evening, everybody. I am here.
Thank you very much, Ms. Workington. For the autism provision, we've got Mrs. McCrory. I'm not sure if Mrs. McCrory, if you're here as well. No, okay. And we've also got our PT of Wellbeing, that's Mrs. Ramsey. I'm not sure if Mrs. Ramsey's here, but as you can see, there's lots of staff across the school who would be in place to support your young person. Now, just in terms of the role of PSD, I think it's quite important that we're able to discuss everything that would be made available for our children and for our young people at each stage of their school career. Now, the main role for our PSD teacher is very much to be that daily contact, that creating the routine that all of our young people grow to expect at St Modan's High School. It's that friendly face in the morning who's welcoming them in as they're coming into their PSD part of the day, which is that first 10 minutes, and it's really getting to know them around what's happening at home, what's happening in school, and providing that daily contact and routine and reinforcing the expectations of St Modan's High School, the 3 R's that again all of our young people have become really familiar with and they've come to expect. Mental well-being is also a really important part of the PSD teacher's role, because as we get to know our young people, we're able to see them day to day in terms of any support that they might need. So as part of PSD, we can discuss with them lots of different things that are available if our young people are maybe just needing a wee bit extra help for any situation or any circumstances that might be happening for them. The role of PSD will also be overseeing our health and wellbeing programme. I know Mr. Powley had spoken to you about that just before, and with that one period per week of health and wellbeing that would be going through the health and wellbeing curriculum, and again it's providing that quite regular contact with them. Okay. Now, for some of our other young people, as we've said already, there's lots of different learners who are within St Modan's community, and we're very, very conscious of the fact that we want to support all of our learners to reach their potential, and two of the most significant people within the school that help us to do that is Miss Workington and Mrs McCrory. So Miss Workington, our PT ASN and Inclusion, and Mrs McCrory, our PT Autism Provision. Now, within the ASN department, it's not just about young people who might need a wee bit of support with their learning needs. We also would provide support with any sort of social and emotional support as well. Within both of these areas within the school, there is a huge amount of really experienced, really, really caring staff who, again, get to know their young people exceptionally well, and it's really important to have that team there that's able to share with the wider school the strategies and the support that our young people would need just to make sure, again, they're reaching their potential. Within the autism provision itself, I know that obviously for some of our young people, that's the part of the school they will be joining, but we're also really keen to ensure that there's also that integration with mainstream too, to make sure that very much our whole school community is part of it. We're all in it together, and we're supporting all of our learners in that way in terms of whatever it is that they're needing. Now, at that point, I'll just pass on to Mr. Powley just to have a wee chat through some of the other areas of the school where our young people will receive some support.
Thanks very much, Mrs. Hagan. I'm just going to continue on a little bit on the value of inclusion and looking at the kind of wider life of the school, kind of beyond the classroom. So as you can see from the slide there are a wide variety of activities, both at lunchtime and after school, that cater for a really wide range of kind of interests and activities. These, the ones that are there, they do change frequently, and if there's a demand generally for a club to be on, and there's people willing to take it on, often a group will kind of start up on the back of that. But as you can see, lunchtimes, after schools, lots of different clubs for all different kind of interests and so on available there. I'm going to talk a little bit as well about the kind of other supports that are in place for pupils. There's a young carers group within our school that's run by Miss Aitkenhead, and as you can see in the picture there, some of our young carers, I think it was last week or the week before, were kind of out fencing, doing fencing classes and things. And we have a youth participation worker in the school who will work with groups of young people or kind of individually with young people. We have an inclusion support worker within the school who will help kind of including young people in education, and for those that maybe require a little bit kind of extra support, as it were. We have resilience groups in the school, and we have a strong and productive partnership with Active Stirling as well. We also have school shows that are on. Obviously, the last couple of years we've not been able to put them on, but in years gone by we've certainly had very successful school shows with pupils from all year groups, as well as talent shows as well, in order to kind of showcase the wide variety of great skills and abilities that our young people have at St Modan's as well. So as you can see, there is a lot on there, and obviously the extracurricular sports that we offer too, wide variety for all young people, all different sports, with a really kind of growing kind of number of sports where different staff within the school give of their time to help support that as well. So we've got football teams, netball teams, basketball teams, etc., and a kind of growing number of participants within all of them, which is really encouraging to see as well. I'm going to pass on now to our head boy and girl, Scott and Mia, for the next part of this that's going to discuss the value of service.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you all. I'm Scott McKnight and I'm this year's head boy for St. Modan's High School. I've come from Redwell Primary in Alloa, which is not one of the catchment schools for St. Modan's.
Hi all, I'm Mia and I'm this year's head girl for St. Modan's. I actually did come from one of the primary schools. It was St. Margaret's in Kiwi.
So we're here to talk about our service to St. Modan's and also a few things that me and I do to make the transition from primary school to high school easier for the new S1s. Firstly, during our time as head boy and head girl at St. Modan's, we've heavily focused on our big buddy system. This means that we're able to plan events like the buddy lunches.
Buddy lunches are where we gather all the S6 buddies and S1 buddies and we host a variety of games and activities for them. Sometimes the buddy lunches are outside, so the groups are able to play a section of games like Duck, Duck, Goose or Tig or any games they wish to play together.
Last week we hosted a buddy lunch in the English department where we had a very competitive multiple choice quiz and played Get to Know You Bingo. The main focus for our buddy lunches is that the buddies can get to know each other so that if your son or daughter is feeling anxious or confused about something inside school, they're able to talk to a familiar and friendly face, making the transition easier for them.
On top of the buddy system, we have our mental health advocates. So essentially the role of the mental health advocate is to look out for all the pupils within the school and let them know that we're always there for them. They do this by talking to our pupils during break and lunch times, just going around kind of every day speaking to first years, second years, asking them how they're getting on and stuff, just making sure they're enjoying school. As well as that, Scott and I we have a mental health training programme with St. Margaret's Primary and we're kind of training the primary 7s to be mental health advocates, primary 6 and 7s, just so they're prepared for the role when they come up to high school. And we're hoping to open it up to other schools as well later on in the year.
Mental health is a very important subject in today's society, and that's why we focus on it so much in St. Modan's High School. And our aim is to get rid of the stigma around mental health and raise awareness for it, as everyone suffers from mental health at some point in their life and they shouldn't feel ashamed for not feeling okay. This month, we're raising awareness by doing Movember. So right now, I'm not allowed to shave my face and I'm kind of growing a bit of a mustache here. So I'm trying to get into the dark so you can't see it. As well as having mental health advocates, we have subject ambassadors for all the subjects around our school. Subject ambassadors are S6s who volunteer to help in S1 classes across all subjects and give support in classes to pupils who need it.
We've also just completed the recent transition video for the new primary 7s to see before they come up. That's just the S1s right now are given kind of tours of different departments around the school, asking relevant questions to teachers, kind of things that primary 7s would want to know. We want to let them get to know the school as much as possible before they make the transition.
To recognise all the good things and hard work that is done in school, we have many things such as celebrating success newsletters, subject stars, Hot Chocolate Friday, and praise postcards, and our Wall of Wonder, which celebrates things achieved inside and outside of school. It's very important that our pupils are recognised for their achievements, as it motivates them to go even further, and if they're not being recognised for all their hard work, it can be quite demoralising.
We're hoping that Hot Chocolate Friday, it can be now changed into real life, hopefully. Hot chocolate with Mrs. Friel, which sounds really fun. So instead of it just going home and you're getting your child's postcard and hot chocolate package, we're hoping we can do it in school sometime soon. But we thank you all for listening to us, and we really can't wait to meet all the primary 7s for next year during the transitions.
Thanks very much for listening.
Thank you, Mia and Scott, and hopefully we'll meet them later in the year if we can get on and get people up into the school again. Our last value, and I suppose another very important one, is trust, that we can be relied upon to do what is right. And I suppose for us, that's really important, that we think about our job to support your young people. We feel we need to be that bit of a moral compass. We need to work with our families to make sure that we are in all ways forming young people who will make good decisions post-school and who will be prepared for the world outside school. So part of some of the things we do around that, we celebrate every year, we celebrate our remembrance, we have our memorial mass, but we also have our Armistice Day, and it's laying of wreaths, and that is very much dictated and devised by the young people themselves. This year we did a lot of activities around COP26, including in social subjects. They did the COP26 Climate Cafe, and there's a tree there with lots of their promises to the planet. So we really do take on board what's happening in the wider world and help our young people to be to make the right choices. And again, earlier in the term, we had the Black History Month and a cafe they had again to celebrate that at lunchtime, so kids could go in and think about any issues that are happening outside school. But I suppose for us, when it comes to trust, one of the most important things that we are asking is we're asking you as parents and carers to trust us to do a good job with your young people, to work with us and to help us to do the best possible job that we can do to turn a secondary education into a wonderful and a positive experience for your young people. And that's what we're asking from you. And we ask things back as well. We ask you to be part of our parent-teacher partnership. We ask you to join some of our school improvement groups. We ask you to support us with your young people to reinforce the values of being ready, respectful, and responsible, and all of these values that we have talked about tonight. And we know the things that we firmly believe, the things that we are trying to instill in our young people when they join us in first year at St. Modan's and go right the way to sixth year. We hope that the things that we are trying to instill in them, the values that we are trying to bring out of them as young people, will mirror the values that you want for your young person, for you want for your child. And that's why we ask for your trust when they join us, that you help us to do the best possible job by your young people. In saying that, I'm talking about young people joining us. That's the last of us going through our values, and hopefully you've gotten a sense of who we are and what we want for all of our young people, for all of our community. I'm going to just hand over to Miss Quinn just to give you a little bit of a flavour of the transition programme for this year. It is still very much up in the air, we would say, and I know Ms. Quinn will explain that. With COVID restrictions, things are still a wee bit in the air, but she can at least give us a wee sense of where we hope to go this year.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Shandley. Yes, transition this year, we have kind of started, but it's all virtual. So through primary schools, and we'll do online groups with young people that have identified as wanting to come to St. Modan's. Last year we had a really successful series of online lessons for those children who are not coming from one of our feeder primaries. One of our PE teachers, Ms. Patterson, led that, and they were in the evening for those young people. So there was a transition plan in place for young people who maybe don't attend one of our feeder primaries as well. Provisional transition days, we have 2 days planned for the 23rd and 24th of May. We've actually booked the buses for those days, so fingers crossed that we will actually be able to do that this year. Last year we had to do a virtual transition day, but we're really hoping that this year we'll be able to have the young people up in the school for 2 action-packed full days of them seeing round the school and actually being in the school. And again, on the 2nd of June, hopefully, we're hoping that by that time, we'll be able to open our doors so that you can come in and see around the school as well before your young person actually starts with us in August next year. We do have a transition information website. Now it's part of the school website. So if you go to the school website, you'll see that it says Primary Transitions 2021. If you click on it, it takes you to a website. Now, if you bear with me, just give me 2 seconds. What I'm going to do is try and present that website so that you can actually see the website. So I'm going to stop presenting that tab and present a new tab for me. Let's see, just give me 2 seconds to do that.
I'm impressed with your technology skills, Miss Quinn.
Oh, thank you. I learnt from the best, Mrs. Friel. So you can see this is our actual website that you'll be able to go in and have a look at. There's a home page that just gives you lots of information about transition. A lovely introduction from Mrs. Friel. There's our postcard again, so there's lots and lots of information on there. There's some practical information about school, what are the school times, what's school uniform, So there's lots and lots of information there that you might be interested in. And then there's frequently asked questions, the questions that we've had from previous years, from parents from previous years about what they need to know. So that is available and it's updated regularly. So if you need if you're think of any questions and you think, I wonder if, or I wish I could have asked that, please have a look at that website, because you might find the information there. And if not, then please get in touch with us. So please get back in touch with us. So I'll stop sharing that one and I'll go back to sharing our original one. We're very nearly there, so thank you very much for your patience.
And just while you're doing that, Ms. Quinn, I'll just mention placing requests, because I know that's the next slide. So I know that some people in the audience tonight will be placing requests to St. Modan's. So just to remind you that there is a placing request form that needs to be completed on Stirling Council, and as soon as you can, they are open for to be filled in now. And if you are a placing request and you have decided to definitely at St. Modan's, we would ask that you fill that in as soon as you can, just so that we can know numbers and things for next year, and we can plan transition around that. So it's just a wee reminder about that. Okay, Ms. Quinn.
Okay, thank you very much, Mrs. Chandley. And finally, here is just some of the information about what our pupils say about our school. I mean, we are really passionate about our school, and we think it's a fantastic school. But this is just some of the comments from the young people in our school and what they say, because their voice really, really matters to all of us. Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Friel.
Yep, thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Quinn, and thank you, everyone. I want to just say a few wee words at the end. I always manage to get the last word, can I just tell you? So I first of all want to thank Mia and Scott. Now, I'm going to just take a wee pause there, and I'm going to talk about these two fine young people, and I hope they've got their cameras off so that I can see them blush. They are just phenomenal. They're just amazing. The whole of the 6th year this year have been amazing. I think there's a sense of everybody's just so glad to be back together. We've had no lockdown for a wee while, and they're really making the most of their final year with us. And I'm just like to thank Mia and Scott for being amazing. Everything they promised they've been working really hard to deliver, and thank you all. And I'm just going to especially thank Mia, who is not long out of A&E tonight, and she came back home to go on to this meeting, and I hope that demonstrates our values all over them just by that one story. She's just amazing. And thank you, Scott, thank you for coming along tonight. So they're just fantastic people. Also thank you to Eve and Gwen, who have been wonderful on the tannoy, putting the rest of us to shame, can I tell you? Absolutely to shame. I hate doing a tannoy, it's the famous thing about me, but and Eve has just taken to it like a duck to water. She's just a natural, so I think I'll get Eve to do my tannoys in the future. Tonight was about giving you a sense of who we are as a school, what our values are. Our values are in everything we do, the way we treat each other, the decisions that we make for the school. If you manage to get in the school, you'll see it's a nice, calm place, respectful place. And you should feel our values if you manage to get in and walk around the school. That's what we really hope, that you feel our values. We're so proud of our school, and I think you get a real sense of that tonight. And we are looking forward to working with you in the future, and working and meeting your wonderful young people and working with them in the future too. So if you have any questions or any further comments, please put them in the box, and we'll do our very best to answer them, either just now, in the next wee while, or we will get the answers to you. Okay, but thank you so much for your patience tonight. Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Mr. Cowley, go home.
And Miss Hendrick, the presentation tonight was recorded, so we will pass it on to the schools.
Oh, that's great.
So can see it.
Thank you. Thanks so much.